Hello, Wendy here again from the Late Bloomer Author podcast, and I'm really thrilled that you've joined me today. And what I want to do is to build on what we did last week. If you remember, last week Chris and I talked about AI and how you can use it, what you can do, what you can't do, that will absolutely help you to write your book, to get you started. And just to clarify that in no way is it cheating by using AI. AI is just the same as any other tool in your toolbox. It's like, trying to write on a typewriter compared to a word processor. Trying to record something without a microphone or without a recording device, for example, on your phone. Trying to take photographs without being able to zoom in with the different apps and things that you can. So it's just like anything else. There's going to be there is a lot of controversy around using AI, but it's here. It's only going to get more and more people are going to be using it. More and more people are going to find that it can help you. It's not about replacing you. It's about finding your best bits and enhancing them so that you can then spend all your time, all your effort on doing what you want to do, which is writing your book. And what it does is it can save you hours of work. And under no circumstances at all do you let the AI run away with whatever you're doing. It doesn't write your book for you. If you don't like what it's put, you just tell it you don't like it. It's like speaking to someone as if you've got someone sitting next to you. You just tell it exactly what you're thinking. I like section B, I don't like section C because it sounds too robotic, or it isn't in my voice, or it isn't how I would speak. And what you have to do is you have to train the AI to be more like you, to have your voice, so it understands how you would come at any problem, how you would speak to people, what you're thinking even. It can't take over everything that you are. It hasn't got your memories, it hasn't got your history, it doesn't know what you did yesterday, it doesn't know what you had for breakfast, it doesn't know what your friends are thinking, the conversations you've had. But what it does do is everything that you tell it, it retains that information for next time, so that you don't have to keep repeating yourself again and again and again. And that's really important. So I want people to get used to using AI and not feeling bad about it, not feeling as if they're cheating. And it's really strange because this is what people have said to me in the community when I've talked to them out and about on networking meetings or groups, communities. They've said that I really want to use AI, and absolutely you do, because everyone else is using it and it saves you so much time. And you don't want to be left behind. What's the point of spending hours doing something that you don't need to? You can spend your time making it perfect, making it yours, making it personal. And that's what you need to be doing, not the grunt work. I call it the grunt work because it's like having a little assistant that you would ask it to go and, make the coffee almost, or to go and do the filing and things like that. It's exactly the same. It does all the work that's repetitive. It does all the work that takes the time. And because AI has evolved, or it is evolving so much, it's getting better and better and better, and it can do more tasks for you. We've moved over now from ChatGPT, although we do still use ChatGPT. We haven't moved over. But a lot of my work I'm doing now is in another platform called Claude, or another large language system I think they're called. It's called Claude. And Claude's a lot more advanced. There's lots of things it can't do that ChatGPT can do, and vice versa. So we use both. We use both of them. We use other AI tools as well for generating images and videos, and we've got AI voiceovers on video clips and things. There's just so much you can do, and you really have to grasp how much it can do to make sure that you're working efficiently. So what I want to do this week is I want to show you what it actually looks like in a practical sense to use AI. We're going to use ChatGPT because it's free, basically. And what we're going to do is we're going to use my ultimate retirement book. I used AI a lot to do research for this, and also to help create the resources and everything that are in the back page. But just for this purpose, we're going to pretend that I'm writing this or it's not written yet, and I'm going to use the prompts, or some of the prompts that I used to help me to write this book. And again, like I say, things have moved on since then, but the general thing is the same. And what you can do is use the prompts that I'm going to give you to do yours, to make a start on your book. So the Ultimate Retirement Guidebook is my book. It was written by me. It is on Amazon. It was self-published. And what I did from the book is I actually created a second book. It's a workbook, because once I'd done the guidebook and realised, and I created some resources and things from it, I realised that people would need more. And I also looked at what I would need in a retirement book. So it was, I suppose, written for me, but then I'm thinking, well, I can't be the only one who needs what is in the book. There must be other people who need the same thing. So that's why I did the workbook, and it's a sort of a journal and a planner, and also it would help you to build your legacy, and it also help you to put all your little ducks in a row ready for when you're no longer here, so that your family don't have such a trauma after you've gone trying to sort out all your finances and everything else. So anyway, so just bearing off this, the book is published, and as I say, I did get ChatGPT to help me to do a lot of the grunt work for it. So I'm going to go through some of the prompts that I used to build it. So what I want by the end of this episode is, and what is possible, it absolutely is possible, is for you. Obviously, you've got your niche, you've got your subject, your topic that you want to write your book in. But what this will give at the end of today's session is options on how to find a title and why it's important to find the right title, a book description, and a full chapter outline. That's what we're aiming for today. This will give you a complete blueprint for starting your book. And honestly, that's further than most people ever get. It's a lot of help there already. Now, remember that in the school community, there is a Bloom system that's already in the classroom in there, and it's 5 training sessions on your first 500 words, your chapter, your outline, your blueprint for your book. Now that training is free, and you're more than welcome to go in and just join the school community, go through those videos, and there's resources in there, there's a workbook, and there's prompts as well that I've used. These prompts that I'm going to use today, what I will do is I'll create a Word document with them, and I'll put them into the school community as well, because what you can do is copy and paste the actual prompt and maybe tweak it a little bit so it's more personal to you, and put that into ChatGPT, but it will give you a really good idea of what you need to put in and what to expect back out. So those will be in the school community as well. If you haven't got ChatGPT, if you haven't signed up for an account for ChatGPT, then it's really, really simple. And as I said, it's free. It takes a couple of minutes, and all you have to do is find chatgpt.com. You can go in and register. You can use your email address, your Apple ID, Google ID, or you can use your phone number. So what I'm going to do is, rather than go through that now, because I don't want to dilute the content of this episode today, is I'm going to pop a separate training session, a little mini workshop on how to create a membership for ChatGPT, and what to look for when you first go in there, because when you open it and it's like, oh my God, where do I start? So I'm going to walk through that with you, and I'm going to record it and pop that into the school community. So anytime at all you can go and have a look at that if you haven't got an account already. If you have, fabulous. So that's what we'll do there. Now, remember, I'll put the prompts in there as well, so you'll be able to read, and it'll give you some sort of idea of what to expect. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to give you the prompts, and I'm going to do a certain amount of prompts. The first one is looking for a title, and this is the prompt. It's not the exact prompt, because that was a year or so ago, but it's a prompt that if I was writing this book now, this is what I would use. It'll be on here, it'll show on here the prompt that I'm showing, but it'll be in the school community. Remember that, so you can always just copy and paste and tweak it a little bit, put your own on there. So this is exactly what I'm going to say. So you open your ChatGPT, you've got a folder open or a project, and you start a new chat, and you're looking for a title. So this is what I said, this is what I used. I'm writing a non-fiction book aimed at people who are approaching retirement or have recently retired. They are worried about losing their identity, their purpose, and their routine. They want practical guidance, but also emotional reassurance. The book will cover mindset, finances, relationships, health, legacy, and finding a new purpose. Please suggest 10 possible titles and subtitles. The title should be warm, clear, and search-friendly on Amazon. It's very important that you give the correct prompt to ChatGPT. You have to explain to it what you're looking for exactly and why you need it. So, for example, just by saying that the title should be easily searched on Amazon, because when someone's searching for a book on Amazon, they literally search for what they're looking for. A retirement book, a retirement guidebook, retirement help. You know, they're not searching for a book that could be titled "What's My Next Chapter?" So you have to be very specific on this. And if you give the correct prompt to ChatGPT, it understands that that's what you're looking for. That's the aim of the prompt. So that's the first one, asking for the title. So what I'm going to do now is, this is the response that prompt gave back to me. So I'm going to read it out to you again and let you see the idea or the sort of feedback that you do get, or the outputs that you do get from ChatGPT. So title options are: The Ultimate Retirement Guidebook, everything you need to thrive in the next chapter of your life. Your Best Years, a complete guide to fulfilling a purposeful retirement. Number 3, Life After Work, the practical and emotional guide to retiring well. Number 4, The Retirement Roadmap, how to plan, prepare, and actually enjoy what comes next. Number 5, Finally Free, your step-by-step guide to a retirement full of purpose and joy. Number 6, The Confident Retiree, a guide to identity, income, a life you love. Number 7, What Comes Next, the honest guide to retirement for people who still have so much to give. Number 8, The New Chapter, a complete retirement guide for modern life. Number 9, Ready, Set, Retire, your complete guide to the transition that changes everything. Number 10, The Retirement Blueprint, practical guidance for your best years yet. Now, straight away, some of them, as I read them out, or as I looked at them, I would just not even consider. Now, the reason you wouldn't consider them is because the title and the subtitles are not searchable. They're not what people are looking for. So things like Your Best Years, not really as a title, although the subtitle, A Complete Guide to Fulfilling a Purposeful Retirement, is good. Number 4, The Retirement Roadmap, is good because people understand that terminology. You know, it is a roadmap. It's how you get from this place to that place. That in itself is good. How to plan, prepare, and actually enjoy what comes next is a good, or partly good, subtitle. I wouldn't use the latter part, but the first bit is good. Number 5, Finally Free. It doesn't tell you, and it could be finally free of what. There's no clue in that title as to what the book is about. And then the next one is number 7, What Comes Next. Again, it's very generic. It could be a book about anything. What comes next after you've left your husband? What comes next after you've had an operation? It's too generic. It doesn't tell you. It's a book about helping you with retirement. The last one, I think, I actually like number 9, Ready, Set, Retire. And I think if you'd got a really good cover for that, it could be sort of like the 3 steps: ready, set, retire, ready, steady, go type of thing. So with a really good cover, that could possibly work, because again, the subtitle's Your Complete Guide to Transition that changes everything. The complete guide bit is good, but maybe not the second part of that. And the Retirement Blueprint, I do like that. Retirement Roadmap, Retirement Blueprint, they're always popular titles, and people know what they're looking for, know what they're going to find for that one. Practical guidance for, and then it says for your best years yet, and again, a little bit sort of generic on there. So obviously the one I chose was The Ultimate Retirement Guidebook, and strangely enough, it's got a heading there, everything you need to thrive in the next chapter of your life. My guidebook, my retirement book, actually doesn't have a subtitle. It's just got the title. So, you don't have to have a subtitle. It is optional, on Amazon. But if you're going to have a subtitle, you have to make sure that it tells people straight away what the benefits are of the book. Or because whatever you're doing in life, there's two things you do. You're either moving away from pain or going towards an ideal outcome. So those things have got to be in the title of the book or the subtitle of the book, because people, that's what they're searching for. They'll put those exact words in of the pain that they're feeling or the outcome that they want. And if your book has got the right words, then it's easily found. So bear all these things in mind when you're looking at this. And again, with that, the response from ChatGPT, I would actually go back to chat and say, I like number 1 because of this, and I like number 3 because of this. I don't like number 8 because this. And actually get some feedback, tell it what you like, what you don't like, and it'll work on that, and it'll give you other options. So maybe you like the title number 6, but you like the subtitle of number 8. And what it'll do is it'll work around and tweak those things. And again, you just keep going back and back and giving it feedback until you are happy with what you've got from there. I'm very aware that I don't want to turn this episode of the podcast into a training session, because that's what the training's for in the school community. But there are certain things that I do want to go through. And it's important that I explain to you what it is that we actually do, just so you can see how easy it is and how achievable it is to get so far along on your book when you actually never thought it was possible, because you keep putting it off thinking, there's so much to it, there's so much to do, I'll never get started. And if you just start by this, you'll be amazed at how quickly, you've got an actual blueprint for your book ready. So once you have your title, the next thing you need is a book description. Now, the book description is, if you've gone onto Amazon and you've bought a book, it's got, the picture of the book and the title and the subtitle, and then underneath it's got a whole load of blurb about what's actually in the book, and there's normally some bullet points and, information about what the benefits are, what the pains are that it will help you with. So the description's really important. It's one of the things that when people are reading through choices of books on Amazon, they'll read through and they'll say, oh yeah, that's me. Oh yeah, that sounds just like me. Oh yeah, I know that. I feel that. And what you need it to do is to resonate with them. So the description's really important. So if you're printing the book and it's in a bookshop, then that's what they read at the back, on the back page. If it's on Amazon, that's what they read underneath your image of your book and your title. So what I did then is, this is the prompt that I used. And again, I'm going to read this out and put it up on the screen so that you can follow along with this. So using the title, The Ultimate Retirement Guidebook, and the following details, please write a compelling Amazon book description around 200. The book is for people approaching or recently entering retirement who feel anxious about losing their identity, purpose and routine. It covers mindset, finances, health, relationships, legacy and finding new purpose. The tone should be warm, honest and encouraging. Like advice from a trusted friend who has been through it. Include a hook in the first line and end with a call to action. When you're doing a description, as it said, you should be warm, honest and encouraging. Obviously it depends on the subject matter of your book. But the whole idea of the book is that people pick it up and look at buying it because they believe that you've got the solution to their problem. So you have to be helpful, encouraging, understanding. Now for me, for example, writing the retirement book, it was because I was approaching retirement and I had some of those doubts, some of those feelings and some of those thoughts that were actually in the book. And very much it was all about me and my legacy and what happens after I've gone for my girls, etc. Encouraged me to write the books. What you will need to do is you need to bring this across to the description of the book so that people read it and they can actually associate with it and, they feel then that you are the right person to help them in whatever it is that your topic subject is. So what it says is also include a hook in the first line. Now, if you're not sure what a hook means, a hook is just a very short sentence that sort of gets them interested. You know, it would be something like, in 5 hours or in just after one day, you'll be able to understand, you know, ABC or something like that. So it's something that sort of hooks people in, if you like. It makes them want to read further, and that's the idea. And then the call to action is that you're asking them basically to buy the book. You know, if this sounds like you, buy this book now. And that's called a call to action. So I put that prompt into ChatGPT, and this is what it came back with. So again, I'm going to read the output that ChatGPT gave. Retirement is supposed to be reward. So why does it feel so terrifying? If you spent decades defined by your career, your role as a parent, or your daily routine, the sudden absence of all three can leave you feeling lost, purposeless, and unsure of who you actually are. You're not alone, and you're not too late to build something wonderful. The Ultimate Retirement Guidebook is the honest, practical, and emotionally intelligent companion you've been looking for. Written by someone who has been through the transition herself, this book walks you through every aspect of retirement life, managing your mindset and identity, understanding your finances, nurturing your relationships, protecting your health, finding new purpose, and leaving a legacy that truly reflects who you are. This isn't a book about playing golf and taking cruises, although there's nothing wrong with either of those. It's a book about your next chapter. It's about clarity, confidence, and it's about having a plan. If you're ready to stop drifting and start living with intention, this is the book for you. So you see from there, that to me is a pretty good description. Now, the only thing I would add to that is normally some bullet points of, you know, some of the benefits of the actual book, as opposed to it being sort of paragraph style text. But you can just tweak about with that to your heart's content. You know, just keep giving it back and saying, I like this, I don't like this. Can you change the wording of this? But what that's done there is it's taken my information. So yes, ChatGPT wrote the description, but it didn't write how I felt, because it didn't know. There's only me that could put that personal touch in there. So I wrote the book, and I want people to actually read it. I want them to know that I also felt lost, and I didn't know, you know, where to go, and I was a bit confused about what I wanted to do. I mean, what I'm doing now, you know, doing a podcast and the YouTube, and never in a million years would I have thought my retirement would be this. But it's just strange how, you know, once you start planning and you start thinking about it rather than just winging it, how easy it is, or an easier transition, should I say, for the changes that you're going through. So I did lots of changes to the description and actually made it, you know, mine. So the next one we're going to look at then is the chapter outline. And this is, I suppose, this is the skeleton of your book, or the foundation that it's on. This is where everything's built from. So if you get this right, it makes the actual writing of the book a lot easier. And people spend weeks on this bit, or months even, or they completely avoid it, in which case they never even start their book in the first place. So this is how you can do it just in one sitting. It's, you know, so simple to do. So this, again, I'm going to read out the prompt that I gave ChatGPT, and then I'll read out the outcome. So this is the chapter outline. Using the title, The Ultimate Retirement Guidebook, and this description, and then what you do is you paste your description that you've already done in the previous outcome and the previous prompt. You paste your description into chat. Please suggest a chapter outline for a non-fiction book of approximately 10 to 12 chapters. Each chapter should have a title and 2 to 3 sentence summary of what it covers. The book should flow logically, building from the emotional experience of entering retirement through to practical planning and finding long-term purpose. It should feel like a journey, not just a list of topics. Okay, so that's the prompt that we put in there. And this is the outline that ChatGPT suggested for that. So I'll just read it. It's a list of chapters, but it just gives you an idea of what to expect. Chapter 1, the day everything changed. Understanding the emotional reality of retirement. Why so many people feel lost, unmoored, and unexpectedly anxious, and why that's completely normal. Chapter 2. Who are you now? Identity, purpose, and the question nobody warned you about. How to rediscover who you are when the job title has gone. Chapter 3. The retirement mindset. Shifting from scarcity to possibility. How your thinking shapes your experience and practical ways to reframe the transition. Chapter 4. Your money, your freedom. A plain English guide to retirement finances. Budgeting, pensions, savings, and knowing what you actually have to work with. Chapter 5. Your health is your wealth. Physical and mental well-being in retirement. Building habits that sustain energy, mood, and longevity. Chapter 6. The people around you. How retirement affects your relationships, partners, family, friendships, and the connections that matter the most. Chapter 7. Finding your new purpose. What do you find time for? Chapter 8. Your legacy. What do you want to leave behind? From practical estate planning to stories, values, and memories that outlast you. Chapter 9. Retirement and your home. Where and how you want to live. Downsizing, moving, adapting, creating a home that fits your next chapter. Chapter 10. The art of slowing down, rest, leisure, and learning how to fill your time with intention rather than by accident. Chapter 12. Your next chapter starts now. A final encouragement and practical action plan to move forward with confidence. So that's the outcome that it gave when I asked for a chapter outline. Now, we give AI, we give Chat the raw material, but you make the decisions, and that's how it always works. So moving from the emotional shock of getting into retirement, did I use exactly those title suggestions or those chapter suggestions? No, I moved things around a bit. I've actually got 15 chapters in mine and a conclusion and a page full of resources, well, the QR codes for resources, and then obviously the acknowledgements for some of the research that I did. But the skeleton was there, and that's what I used. And this is the point, it just gives you ideas and suggestions, but how fast can that do that compared to me sitting and making sure that I cover all of the topics within the book, to make sure that all of the chapters are in there, all the topics that we want to cover during retirement. So I did change, quite a few things. I don't think I kept any of the original titles from there. I just kept going back and back again and back again until it was right. So the chapter transition then, and here's what nobody talks about writing a book, is the transitions. The sentences at the end of each chapter that carry the reader into the next chapter so that they want to carry on reading. Because you can't just write a chapter and then it ends abruptly and then they're like, all right, okay, so do I need to go on to the next? So it's the transition. It's the same as anything. You have to move gently from one thing to another so that it feels natural and people want to carry on reading. And that's one of the things that AI does do brilliantly. So this is a short prompt. Again, this is the transitions prompt. Once I'd done the chapter, once we'd gone and changed what we wanted to change, this is what I then gave to ChatGPT, and it's called the transitions. So here's the summary of chapter 2, Who Are You Now? And chapter 3, The Retirement Mindset, or whatever the chapters are that you've chosen from my book, and then paste the summaries in there. Please write closing paragraphs for chapter 2 that summarises the key message and then bridges them naturally into chapter 3. The tone should be warm and encouraging, like a trusted friend. The final sentence should make the reader want to turn the page, and that's what's important. So it's all about making it run smoothly from one chapter to the next chapter, so it just doesn't finish abruptly and people just automatically want to carry on reading the next page. And this is the response that it gave me. Knowing who you are when the job title disappears is one of the most quietly profound challenges of retirement. But here's the truth. You are never just your work. You are your curiosity, your kindness, your history, your loves, your losses, and your hard-won wisdom. Retirement isn't taking something from you, it's handing it back. The question now isn't who were you, it's who do you want to be? And answering these questions starts not with a grand plan, but with something much more accessible, the way you think. Because how you see this chapter will determine everything about how you live it. Let's talk about retirement mindset. You see how it's smoothly moved over from one chapter to the next chapter. So, let's talk about retirement mindset. It's letting you know what's coming next, and you're like, oh yes, I'd like to know more about that. So I did look at that, and obviously that was just, asking from chapter 2 to chapter 3, and then it sort of moved on. But what I want to do is I do that for every chapter. Remembering the legacy chapter, for example, was very much me and how I felt and what I wanted to do. And that's what you have to remember from there. So very quickly, I always do a Stephen Pressfield quote, because I don't know if you've ever read anything of Stephen Pressfield, but it's like he's written just for me, which is how you want people to feel about your book. But one of his quotes for today is, begin before you're ready. That's it. Simple as. So you should have, in this one episode, from a blank page, you've got the title, a book description, and a chapter outline, including the transitions. Now, this is a complete book blueprint. It's a starting point. It's not the end. And remember, Chat comes up with all of these suggestions, but the more you put in of you, the more it understands what it is you're looking for, so that it's not miles away from what you actually want. So ChatGPT didn't write my book. Every word in the Ultimate Retirement Guidebook is mine. My experience, my voice, my stories. But ChatGPT did help me to structure it, and it did a lot of the heavy lifting. And it gave me ideas and suggestions that I wouldn't have come up with myself, or certainly not in any sort of time frame. So it helped me to think about things that I could have possibly missed if I hadn't used it. Now, just remember that the AI is, like I said, think of it as the skeleton or the scaffolding. And without all the bump around it, which is your personal voice, your stories, your life, your experiences, that's all it is. It's just a skeleton. So it's not a book written by AI. It's your book. What I want to do is, next week, I'm going to actually, on a similar sort of theme, using AI and ChatGPT to help you to start your book, what we're going to do is look at building some chapters together without losing your voice. Now again, it's not going to be like a training session. These episodes aren't trainings. That's what's in the school community. But I do want to just get across how easy, or how much easier it can be to start your book by using AI. In the meantime, join the school community. The links below in the description. The Bloom system is in there already. It's a series of 5 videos that you can watch, and that will really get you started. It's got all the resources in there. It's got workbooks, and it's got all the prompts that I used in there as well. And you can just play it and stop it and play it and stop and play it until you've got what you need from there. I'm in there all the time. Come and ask me a question. If you need any help with anything, if you're unsure about something, then just tag me in there and I'll answer you. I'm trying to build this community. It's fairly new. It's not a big community. It's never going to get to thousands. I don't want it to be thousands. I want it to be a group of like-minded people who can help and support each other. And that's what it's all about. So have a look at the link in the description. Join the community, and I'll copy the prompts. They'll be in there as well, and the mini course as well on how to set up your ChatGPT account if you haven't got one already. And thank you very much for listening again, and I'll see you next week with part 3 of this little mini season. In the meantime, let me know if you need any help from me, and remember, you're not too late. You're right on time. Thank you.